And this is why we've been on ice watch all night long. In case a little bugger like this shows up and bumps into our boat in the middle of the night. Chunk of ice floating towards our boat. The wind has now shifted back coming from the glacier, and the tide is on its way out, and there is a car-sized piece of ice floating towards our bow. So I'm gonna do my best to send it on its way. Bye. It's pretty crazy just how much ice is actually floating around out here. I know the bay's really big and the glacier's really big, but so are the chunks of ice. And although they're scattered far enough apart, it'd be very easy to sort of motor our way back out or leave if we needed to. It's definitely have to keep an eye out because they float slowly, but they're big. The thing that I still can't get over is the sound. The glacier's pretty active behind me, and the best way I could describe it is probably somewhere between gunshots and a thunderstorm. Sort of two sounds it keeps making. One is sort of this gunshot, this loud pop bang. I imagine that sound is new cracks forming in the glacier. And then there's this deep rumble, which sounds like a distant thunderstorm. And that's usually when chunks are falling off and the glacier's actually calving and sending little bergy bits out into the fjord. It's really amazing. It's distant enough the camera probably won't pick it up, but it sounds really cool. Are you ready for battle?
Captain, Captain, iceberg ahead.
Quick, arm yourself.
Yeah, these things are so slow. Like you see one and an hour later,
It's by the boat.
You pick up the pole and then an hour later you have to push them away.
They're like sloth
Honestly, it might skip the boat.
Man the battle stations.
Yeah,
I think we're safe, Captain.
I think we're all right.
Iceberg's over there now. So our little baby seal friend doesn't come
Our
and play?
baby seal friends don't come and climb on the boat while we're gone.
Shall we go
All right.
explore a glacier?
Let's go check out a glacier. All of the ice that's sort of like melting is making this like Rice Krispie
snappy, crackly sound because it's all sort of like melting and snapping. It sounds really cool. It almost sounds like a campfire. Although the wind has sort of shifted a different direction and the tide's coming back in now. So we're keeping an eye on Uma, even though she's pretty far away and there's no ice around her now. We're gonna keep an eye on her as we're out here in case something starts to get close. We'll just be able to rip back on the dinghy and sort it out.
Glacier without picking up some glacier ice. So we're going shopping today. I feel like if we don't do this, it would be a giant missed opportunity. So I've got my axe. We've got our ice.
Careful to get the ice and not the dinghy, eh? These are grounded, aren't they?
They're definitely, yeah, they're stuck on the ground. So I don't have to worry about them flipping over. All right, let's get close to.
I'm gonna go around and then I'm gonna motor forwards up to it.
Mushroom. Holy mother. Okay, go back.
Maybe we should go get a smaller one. What the f?
What were we saying about like it's stuck on the ground, it's not gonna flip over?
Whoa.
So, not that one.
That looked like such a docile little one. I have a better idea. Let's go to the beach and just pick up a little one.
I think we should just go to the beach and pick up a little.
Look at that thing. He's still going.
Never mind that. I guess we'll go for another one.
Round 2 maybe. Jesus.
Round 2. I think this is a much more appropriate chunk to take from. Alright, hopefully we have enough depth to make it with the dinghy though. I'll just snip the tip from the very end, right?
Yeah. Alright, round 2.
Round 2. I'll just get that lower chunk.
You use the back end of it. You're not going to be able to break through the top bit. Very funny. Yeah.
It moved!
They're just balancing
it
there.
It does move. This is harder than I thought. Yeah!
You got a chunk.
I got a chunk. Alright, now
we didn't die.
I need to pick it up. Just get me close enough.
This thing doesn't really maneuver that well.
I got one. Yeah. It's official.
Mission successful.
Mission successful.
Nobody died.
We can go home now.
10 fingers, 10 toes. There's no holes. There's no holes in the dinghy. Nobody died. Is that worth it? I hope that was worth it.
I think that was worth it.
All right. For the sundowners that we're gonna have in 3 months when we finally see a sunset again.
My hands are freezing now.
I bet.
Oh, I think we've got 2 really good pieces.
I think we're okay. Trying to technically we're about 30 miles from Longyearbyen and technically we can get cell signal here to check the wind, but I'm not getting anything. I think one of the hardest parts about being up here with just the 2 of us is that we're 100% responsible for everything. The boat, the filming, the planning, making sure the boat's safe, we're safe, we get good shots, we make good videos, we explore the places we want to explore.
I'm a little sad.
Yeah, I know. You're always a little bit sad when you don't get your shots.
I had all these ideas, you know. The hardest part is that I want to do it justice.
Yeah.
I don't know, it kind of puts pressure a little bit.
You've been under a lot of pressure since we left Norway. But it's definitely been challenging. I'm exhausted, honestly. And sleeping on ice watches, like, I don't think either of us have gotten a good night's sleep in the last week.
I think we're tired. I feel stupid for being sad.
Don't be sad. This place is emotional, man. Of course. This place is stressful on you, I think. I think you're too worried about everything. About ice and polar bears and glaciers and wind and weather, and then filming and making and telling a good story, and then editing all this shit together when we're done and sailing south. Like, it's a lot. It's been a good, like, pinnacle, though. It's been a good end to a long journey, I think. To get all the way up here and to get our boat ready, to get us ready, and to get all the way up here and to get to these cool places. Like, I never thought we'd actually be able to get into these places with our boat, but it's been really cool to be able to, like, do all this stuff, just the two of us on our little boat. And
I just wish we had more time.
It's a really big chunk of ice. Like,
it's bigger than our boat.
Way bigger than our boat. Like, look at that one. It looks like a dragon. I think we should wait for those two big chunks to blow by. These ones are all leaving. The wind and the current are bringing them in relatively quickly. After those two chunks go by, there's not a whole lot more ice after that. And then we can, like, do a loop around on the way out, maybe.
The wind shifted and is coming from the mouth of the fjord now. We have a layer of ice drifting back towards the glacier, which means a layer of ice drifting back towards our boat. So we're going to lift the anchor up. We sort of have to head a little bit towards the glacier in order to go around all the big chunk of ice heading our way, because that would not be fun to be stuck by ice here. It's a bummer because as much as we would love to stay here all day or even all week, the reality is a fjord like this and a glacier like this is very unpredictable, especially for an active glacier like this one, where one minute it's calm and there's no bergy bits floating around, and the next minute there's a sheet of ice falling down and there's a whole bunch of ice everywhere. The crazy thing is that this is probably the most dangerous anchorage that we've ever stayed in, just because of the ice flow that comes in and out. When there's a family of icebergs pushing your boat into the glacier and then you're stuck, you can't really get out. So we're not going to play that game. The reality is just Dan and I on this boat. We don't have a documentary crew. We don't have a captain to stay on board while we go play around on the dinghy. So yeah, we're gonna go. Which is sad a little bit because we've had all these great ideas of doing silts in front of the glacier. We wanted to go on a hike near the flatter part of the glacier and take some badass pictures. But instead, I think it's time to wrap this up and get out of here. It's been fun though. This place is insane.
And Kika's off Navy SEAL style. Go get some shots. Motoring towards a glacier in our little fiberglass electric boat. It's cool. It's literally about as far north as we can get. Svalbard, I mean, you can go a few hundred miles further north and kind of get around the north side, and you can circumnavigate the island later in the summer when all the ice melts. But yeah, Svalbard is about as north as you can sail. We're just under 79 degrees north right now. And this is it. There's no more north. You hit the polar ice cap once you get north of Svalbard. So it's pretty cool to have left Colombia all those years ago and started sailing north and doing all the renovations on our boat and getting everything squared away and heat and making sure the electric motor's good, and all the renovations we've been doing over the last 4 years have all been to make our boat more capable so that we could do stuff like this. And it's really cool to finally be this far north doing stuff like this. And it's really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, especially to do it on our own boat. So we feel pretty honored, pretty blessed, pretty happy to be up here. And it's been a real joy of a journey to get here. And we're excited to keep going after as well. The good news is all the wind has pushed all the little tiny bits up against the glacier. And now there's just the really big chunks left out here, which are definitely more dangerous, but also a lot easier to see and a lot easier to avoid. It's those really small ones that are hard on our boat because we don't have an aluminum or a steel hull. So those little ones banging on the boat are like going through rocks, and they're not so good for the hull or the propeller or the keel or the rudder. But the big ones are easy to see and they're easy to sort of navigate through. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue as long as you don't run out of ocean. Definitely when I'm really glad we have an electric motor because it's so easy to maneuver, slow speed, quick, so easy to maneuver. It's so quiet. We can chat on the radio. In fact, it's quiet enough out here. Kika and I can have a conversation. She's on the other side of a little bergy bit, and if she hollered, I could hear her. Let me know what angle you want, and I'll set up for it.
I want you to be pretty much parallel to the glacier.
Copy that. I'll turn around and come back. How close? Like closer or further away?
The distance you are is fine. I'm just trying to get like a pan coming out.
I don't think we've ever used our VHF radios as much as we have up here. Normally we just call people on the phone, but there's no cell signal up here. All right, here we go. Poor Kika, she has to do 9 different things at once. Being by a bergy bit, driving the dinghy in the wind while filming and communicating with me what she needs. It is quite ridiculous, but it's worth it. I bet she's getting good shots.
This is kind of crazy. Between trying to get good pictures of Uma and try to not hit ice with the dinghy, it is a challenging thing.
This is absolutely gorgeous though. It's really deep in front of this glacier. It's particularly rare, and it's very cool to be able to just kind of like scooch in here on the sailboat. We're still a very safe distance away. We're almost half a mile away from it, and it looks massive. Pretty active glacier, and there are chunks falling off of it quite a lot. Although the wind is pushing them all into the glacier, so that's good. We definitely don't want to be like in some kind of crazy swell out here. But just like with the polar bears, I can hover here with like 100, 200 watts, and I can just drift around. There's hardly any wind anymore. It's perfect. So Kika's gonna be over there snapping some photos, and I'm just gonna be drifting around, enjoying the view. Oh, it sounds crazy. Sounds like thunder.
That was a big one.
That must have been internal because I see no waves or floating ice in front of it. Pretty sure Kika's been getting some awesome shots out there. She's a f***ing champ, man. But she's coming back in now, and I'm gonna pick her up. I'm lonely.
What?
I'm lonely.
I'm coming on board.
We're good. Approach when ready. Yeah.
All right, coming
Come
on board.
Skipper. Punch it. That was cool.
That was
yeah,
nice.
check this out, by the way.
Woo!
That was pretty.
We feel really lucky to have been able to stay as much as we have in this anchorage because it's not a protected bay at all. But the wind was completely dead when we came in, so we had time to actually enjoy this place. And now it is time to say goodbye and head out of here. This was definitely the highlight of our sail to Svalbard. I think we've seen it all, and the glacier was the cherry on top of the cake.